floor of the E3 area GameSpot booth, and I'm joined by TSM for the live show recap of Season 1 of GameCribs. Lots of fans here. They're all pumped. You guys excited to be here?
Yes.
Yes. All right.
Yes!
We got the Wild Turtle confirmation. There we go. They're all pumped up. They've been drinking energy drinks this entire time. So anyway, we have some different stuff we're going to be showing you guys. We're going to be looking at different things, just taking a look back at Season 1 of GameCrib. So let's go ahead and start off. You know, when you guys got into the show, like just in the very first episode, you had just moved to California from New York. You guys had been there the entire time. So talk to me about that experience. What was it like moving from New York over to San Jose or the San Francisco area? You're good. You've got the mic. You're powerful.
So initially, I mean, like we moved to New York, and it was in the middle of nowhere. Like we moved to New York just to scrim against Europeans, just to scrim against North Americans, and we're in the middle of nowhere. Like we would never leave our house. We would just go to Costco, stack up on food, and play games all day. I mean, when we moved to San Francisco, it was a different experience. We walked around a lot more. We had more of a social life, and it was really fun at first. But we needed to like crack down and sit down and put ourselves in the game room and practice really hard. So once we came to San Jose and finally got situated, we were able to play a lot better, practice a lot more, and everything went a lot better for us.
Nice. Any of you guys, any of the rest of you guys have any good things to say about the move?
I like the weather.
Yeah.
And we avoided snow in the year that we were in New York. That was a good thing.
Yeah.
But we kind of hit it in the UK.
Okay.
It was a really good pho shop, and McDonald's made me really fat. And also 7-Eleven was there, so that was our lifesaver.
Yeah.
7-Eleven,
the lifesaver?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everywhere we go, there's always a 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
Thank you, 7-Eleven.
Not sponsored by 7-Eleven this show, but still good. Yeah.
Okay.
So now, you know, when you guys got there, they set up all these cameras in the house. Obviously, you know, you guys were kind of used to cameras in the house before because you had like the streams going, but this was a next level stuff, like some reality TV show kind of thing. So what was it like adapting to that? I mean, I saw even the very first episode, people calling out the camera guys and all that kind of thing. So we're going to play a little bit of stuff, I think, right now. But yeah, what was it like moving in and having all the cameras there?
We were able to find this house,
The big thing was,
and this house is going to fit with our regimen really well.
I mean, I think it was a big problem for Dan. He was like constantly talking about,
Yeah.
man, let's not be half naked all the time. He's like, gotta put on some clothes now. And,
Yeah.
I mean, he just doesn't want clothes. I mean,
Yeah.
I just try to avoid saying stupid stuff.
Yeah.
I mean,
Stupid stuff.
I think one of the biggest like positive things about it was like a lot of our fans, right? There was no outlet to see how pro players react to things or act, and one of the biggest things is our fans never knew how it was being a pro player. So like when GameCribs and Qualcomm sponsored us, it was awesome because now our fans has an outlet to connect with us, and that was something really big to us. I mean, when we first moved into the house, it was a little weird at first because there was always a camera in your face, but it became a lot more natural, and it actually was really interesting. And connect with our fans with that because they don't see the challenges of being a pro gamer. I mean, we practice like a lot. We wake up, we eat, we practice, and we travel to LA and we compete. And it's really competitive because every single team wants to be better than you, and it's really hard to hold on to that top spot. We really give it our all.
Yeah.
I think the fans also realized that we were very boring when we're scrimming because we're just like really serious and trying to practice.
You can pass them the mic, I think. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. I don't know if that's working right now, but we're going to go with a stick mic. I'm being
anyways,
talked to in my ear.
Yeah, so I think the fans didn't realize how boring we were when we were actually practicing. We're like, we were not making jokes. We were just like, do Dragon, do Baron, making calls and stuff like that. And then, so people who were watching that camera, they're just like, these guys suck. I mean, we're practicing.
Yeah. Really good.
Yeah. Like Audubon would crack a joke, and I'd be like, Audubon, shut up. We're practicing. I know, so like it's a lot more serious than people think. Like usually we're hanging out as friends, we'd have a good time, we'd relax, we'd tell jokes, and we'd have a good time. But like when we practice, it's serious. Like no one's really like joking around, and we're just there to win. So it's completely different than what people see us on streams compared to like what it actually is also. Yeah. So it's pretty interesting for them to actually watch us in that like type of environment.
Yeah. So then you guys got in. You know, one of the things that sort of goes along with being on the show. Now I know a lot of you guys have girlfriends. That's kind of a sensitive subject, I know, but a lot of the girlfriends, I think, did not like having the cameras around. So what was it like being both on GameCribs and also having to negotiate your, the girlfriend situation? I know you guys are all gonna. I don't want to talk about this. But
Okay.
Yeah, here we go. Dire Scottus.
It's really no big deal.
Okay.
If they don't want to be on camera, then they shouldn't hang around me
Okay.
or us.
There we go,
That's
laying
just
that
for
down.
me in the situation.
Yeah.
Otherwise, she's fine. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about that.
Yeah.
Well, like, I mean, I think it's one of those things where when people put a camera in front of you, right, you feel really awkward or you feel like you're put on the spot, like you have to say something, and that's why people generally avoid it if they have nothing to say. But like for us, it's become a lifestyle. We're really used to it, so we can act natural on camera. Like, it's just a lifestyle for us. And I mean, I think it's really normal for everyone too, right? Like before, it would be really different. Like everyone would be like, I don't want to say anything. I don't want to sound awkward. I don't want to be weird. But everyone doesn't care anymore. They're just normal now in front of the camera. I mean, besides our girlfriends, of course, they just don't want to be seen on camera.
Right.
But yeah.
So I also want to talk about GameCrib's effect on the community, because there were a lot of people who it was very people couldn't decide whether it was a good thing or a bad thing. Lots of people thought it was awful. Lots of people loved it. You guys, did you go in and read the comments, for example, on any of that stuff? Little bit sometimes, yeah. So what did you guys think of just the community's reaction to GameCrib? There we go. Special's gonna carry us there. Yeah. I have no idea, but we're gonna, you know what? You can't go wrong with the stick mic and the mouth mic. Yeah, double the special.
I think the community was generally positive of what happened. I mean, obviously, they really like the drama of it all,
Yeah.
but even besides that, I mean, we're not super interesting, but there were some interesting parts, and people did like them. I mean, part of it was kind of bad on our part. Like, we lost a lot of privacy, but that comes with a show like that, so I think it was pretty positive. I have to say it's pretty positive. What do you think?
Yeah, it was pretty positive, but like at the same time that we lose a little bit of privacy, but the fans get more insight. Like they might not have known what would have happened to Chaos. Like they might not have known the full story.
Right.
So, like imagine if we didn't have the show, it just one day he just gets kicked, and then no one knows who to believe anymore. So, I think it's pretty cool that fans can get the insight and see what actually happens, how that stuff happens in esports and such. So, I think it's also a good thing that the fans get to know what's going on around the scene.
Yeah, well, sort of going along with that, there were a lot of people that felt like it was fake or that it was scripted. Reggie, you're kind of laughing about that. You have anything to say about those kind of statements?
I mean, like if you think about it, right? I've been on a team with Chaos for 2 years now, and when I have to replace someone, it's not easy because like we've been not only a team member, but like, friends for a really long time. So I would never ever like kick someone off the team just because of a show. You know what I mean? It was to be honest, it was a problem. We needed the roster change, and when people actually thought it was scripted, that just blew my mind because there's no way a team would sacrifice a core member to just replace them to make the show more interesting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like my mind was just blown, and like I'm just shocked that people would think that. But I think by the end of the season, people actually realize what we're going through. And that's one of the things that I really appreciate about the show. It tells my side of the story too, because a lot of the times people would really just like bash on me and not know what goes through and what happens behind the scene. But it really tells my story of what happened, why it's happened, and just the whole story overall. So that's why I find it really funny and interesting at the same time that fans think that way.
Well, I think you're cutting out too, so you can grab the stick mic here. But I want to. Like over on the screen here right now, we're seeing the one of the arguments that you guys had between. I think he called you something on the floor in that that fight. So we're kind of talking about Chaos. Let's talk about that because and we can sort of loop this in because there's a lot of people. The show was about 15-20 minutes every week, but then and it showed a lot, but I don't think it necessarily showed everything. Is that correct? Because people saw that one argument. And then all of a sudden, Chaos was gone. So, what else was happening behind the scenes? what was the show able to capture everything, or was there a lot that was just sort of on the side?
I mean, I think the camera crew tries their best to show everything, but sometimes things just can't fit into the show. So I think the show probably did a really good job of showing what happened with Chaos, why it led to that. But it was always a constant struggle for me as a leader. I mean, I'm in charge of, as of now, I'm in charge of doing the picks and bans and the strategy for TSM. But before with Chaos, initially I would still be the leader, but he was always trying to take more of a leadership role, and it was really hard for me to strategize. It was really hard for me to make calls, and we would always clash, not only in game but personally. Struggle for me. It led to the point where it was impossible for us to really cooperate and act like a functional team, and so it really just led to him being replaced. So it was a really tough time. I mean, it showed some light on why he was replaced, but at the same time, I don't know how much of it actually showed, but I think that it really tells my story of what actually happened.
Yeah. Well, for you guys, while we're on the topic of stuff that maybe people didn't get the full extent of, I mean, you guys already said you read some of the comments, so for any of you guys, was there anything that you felt like the show didn't capture that maybe the fans didn't understand the full context of? Anybody can grab the mic from Reggie. Special, I believe in you. You got something, right?
Well, there is one part, right? Everyone knows this. Like, I was a huge scumbag for about a week or two.
Okay.
When everyone thought like cock stuff, and I was like, I pretty much gave them cold shoulder.
Yeah.
But I interacted with them twice on that same day before we left, and the GameCrib only showed one scene. And for people to just immediately start bashing on me like that, I was really surprised. But obviously, it was because GameCrib didn't show both parts. Right. And honestly, like, it's just part of having a show like that is that you're going to get bashed on no matter what happens. When you have a show that only shows 15 minutes out of 7 days, which is a lot more minutes than 15, you're going to have parts that are missing. And that just made me look really bad. But honestly, I don't really care.
A little bit.
Okay. Whatever. Yeah, whatever. I was crying. I wasn't crying, but
He's so sad.
I wasn't sad because of that.
Whenever Reddit bashes on Special, he gets sad, like really sad. And
no?
he gets.
You're just empowering the Reddit trolls.
Go ahead.
He pretends not to be sad, but you can tell that he's really annoyed compared to before. He says he's not sad, but he'll talk about it as like, do you guys think I was a brat, or do you think a brat could be said in a good way? And he's like, well, like looking up on Google. Yeah. He's like, the term brat.
What's brat? He literally goes like, "What's a brat?"
Special was so confused. He's like, is he insulting me? Is he not? I mean, I'm really frustrated. I really hate how Reddit's bashing me, and he's like, it was so bothered for so long. I'll pass it to Audubon so he can share his insight.
It's pretty sad.
All right.
They suck. I was honestly not that sad over that. There was just a whole bunch of things that happened on the same week that escalated.
Okay. Yeah.
So I don't.
It was a holistic thing.
Yeah. It's like a bunch of factors combined, and being bashed by the public was a tiny part of that. You guys shut up.
Yeah. Well, hey, speaking of things that actually did get captured on camera, we heard that Chaos got kicked, and then just 2 days later, we saw the whole scene play out. In fact, we might have that. I'm going to see if that pops up here on the screen in a second. But, yeah, so this was we can watch it for a second here.
What that means is you're gonna have to move out.
So obviously, you had to sit down with Chaos, kick him. Yeah. So I mean, tell me, Reggie, what's it like having something like that captured on camera? And do you think the audience understood it?
I mean, everyone thought it was fake. It was absolutely the first time, and I mean, I'm their boss, right? But I've never ever fired anyone before. It was a new thing for me. He was at one point one of my really good friends. It was really awkward.
and I felt really uncomfortable. It was something that had to be done because it was my livelihood, and like I couldn't even look straight at him in the face. It was so depressing. I mean, before I would have to try to rehearse it to myself, and my words were stuttering. I was like sad. I couldn't sleep for like 4 days, and like the whole situation was just depressing. I mean, those guys, they understood what I was going through because GameCrib told the story of what happened, but it doesn't show what exactly happened. It doesn't show all the scenes leading into, and that's impossible when you're trying to show a show. You can't, in 15 minutes, you can't show a show of 7 days or a week or 6 months, and there are so many things leading up to this that made this happen. And for me, like with that scene, it was really depressing. I knew it had to be done. I knew that if we didn't do well, I would have looked really bad, because I was making the biggest decision of my life. Like I've only done one roster change before, and I didn't even replace Rainman. He decided to leave, but that time I really had to sit down with Chaos. I really had to fire him for my livelihood, and I did it. I went through with it, and I'm just so glad we came in first place, or I would still be bashed now to this day.
All right, well, Dyrus, you also had some, the perception in the community was that you were kind of a monotone, quiet guy, which is often true, but there were a few moments in time during the show, maybe we're going to see one here in a second, where you got a little excited. In fact, it just popped up. There we go.
Oh my God.
I think you don't understand that, and you're just lazy. And he's just fucking like interrogating me over one stupid little thing, and it fucking pisses me off. Today I exploded, and literally I slammed the table twice, and I actually broke some of the keys on my keyboard. And you can't really see it, but it was pretty bad. I haven't exploded like that, and actually probably forever. That's probably the first time I exploded like that since like middle school, and it's something I probably really needed.
So we saw that there was also the moment in time where you got sort of upset about Chaos leaving. That was also an emotional time for you. We might have that as well. I never know what's going to pop up on the magic screen here. But I think that we can sort of go off of just that moment in time, and also people looking back at the Chaos situation and seeing that you're kind of like a more emotional guy, and you're not always the quiet person. So was it interesting for that to be shown on GameCrib for you?
There was one really big part where it wasn't shown. Like I said, the table slam. People would be shocked if that footage was recorded, and it was like a constructive, like kind of argument. It wasn't like I was yelling, calling Reggie stupid or anything. I was just really upset because of like a small thing, and in the end, like it's because we all didn't listen to his call. So from that point on, then we all really got together as a team, and we all just like listened to Reggie's calls like a lot better, because for the longest time, like Reggie would make a call and no one would listen. So that changed. And then as for my emotions, I hold a lot of it in, and when you hold a lot of it in, you wake up and Reggie tells me that I didn't take out the trash or something, which is true most of the time. And he calls me lazy for it in the morning. Like I get really grouchy in the morning, and I just like have these small moments of where I can't really control myself and I explode. I kind of got it from my dad too, so no offense to him, but I have another side of me where not everyone sees, but I try to be pretty fair about things. Like if I make a mistake, like I won't be prideful about it and like be really stubborn about it. I'll own up to my mistakes, and I'll just try to accept it. And it all kind of builds up until the point where I either explode or I have like a really happy moment, like we beat Curse or something. And I don't know, it's really nice to show that I'm not just the kind of person on stream where I'm always quiet and I never talk. Like You know, I can be emotional too. I'm a human being also.
Yeah. Would you guys say Dyrus can be pretty emotional? Anybody want to add to that? Well, Turtle, you haven't said anything in a while. I know we got to wake you up.
Sure. Dyrus is a nice guy.
Dyrus is a nice guy?
Sure.
Sometimes emotional?
Sure.
Sure. All right. Fair enough. Yeah. Odd one, you got anything to add?
I don't know. I don't think he's that emotional. Like,
just sometimes?
He's lack of emotion.
Okay.
But when they come in bursts.
I see.
They come in bursts. So it just
burst damage.
And then it's like an ultimate or something. You just cast it sometimes, but it takes like a few weeks to recharge. So we just don't see it often.
Yeah. Well, all right. So Wild Turtle, let's get you in on this. Let's wake you up a bit, because I know if you don't have constant stream of energy going into you, you'll just sort of teeter off. But
you just turn into a turtle.
Yeah, exactly. That's what happens. No, you came into the house and you came onto the show halfway through the season. So talk to me about what it was like joining the team and also being part of the show.
I was really excited. Like when I was asked to sub in, I was like really happy. And I'm like, oh yeah, I get to play in LCS finally. I didn't make it because I failed the first time with Cloud9.
Right.
And it was really sad and depressing. And then I finally got to play in LCS again, and I didn't want to screw up, so I just played pretty well during the first week. And moving into California with cameras is like, I don't really care. I just don't care, because I'm a turtle.
Yeah, you're a turtle. Sounds about right. That's what we've come to expect. But right around that time, we also saw the PAX East trip. You guys went over there. You did Beat the Pros, and that was kind of a cool thing. You got to meet a lot of fans. So what was it like going over there, meeting all your fans, and just doing cool things like that over the past couple of months?
Well, that was like my first actual fan meet,
Yeah.
where I get to sign a lot of stuff, and I would say it's really fun. It's definitely worthwhile. We didn't get much sleep, but it was definitely worthwhile because we made the fans happy. That's all that matters.
Now speaking of fans, there, you can pass the microphone over to Xpecial, because this is going to be an Xpecial part. Take the microphone, Xpecial. There was a moment in time, again, who knows if it'll pop up on the screen, but if it does, people will remember, they don't even need to see it, that you got asked by a certain woman. In fact, we'll take a look at it now.
My name is Sheila, and my question is for Xpecial.
It's for who?
Xpecial.
All right, Xpecial.
Now, I main AD carry personally, and I know you said that you were a sad hamster. Can I make you a happy hamster?
Oh.
So Xpecial, I just want to know, like, since GameCribs is all about the behind the scenes for the teams and all that kind of thing, is this a frequent situation that occurs with you?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Do you not? Well, I mean, we just saw it on the screen.
Photoshopped.
Yeah. Oh,
Faked.
it's all photoshopped. Okay. Is it nice meeting all your fans, Xpecial?
It's great knowing them on a personal level.
Yeah, exactly. Knowing them on a very personal level, I'm sure. Moving on, and then this is still something you can speak about, but over the course of the season, you guys sort of had this rivalry with Curse. They came in, and Elements, who, rest in peace, now not on the team anymore, but he kind of said this thing where he's like, we want to really show TSM that this is going to be our season. He kind of threw down the gauntlet, and then of course we always saw the tension between you guys. So what was it like sort of going up against Curse, and would you say they were your #1 rivals throughout the season?
Well, I mean, rivals, our teams are like close to being equal, right?
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
There just hasn't been that many teams that have been like that. And then NA, like Cloud9, they're really strong now. I think they're our rivals. Curse, not really. I mean, maybe once upon a time, but hasn't been in a while. And
I don't think they've ever been our rivals, man.
Huh?
I don't think they've ever been our rivals. I would consider them underlings.
I mean, yeah, like it's not a rival if they're not as good as you are. So there was never a rival.
Okay.
Yeah.
The gauntlet thrown down.
Okay. All right. I'll just back up a little bit.
No. We'll let somebody else chime in. Now that Xpecial has said his piece, do any of you guys disagree with that?
Has any other team taken first in NA in the last 2 years?
No?
Zero.
Three. Okay.
Oh, the last 3 years.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, last 3 years.
Yeah, of course we're seeing you guys celebrate right now. Just a cool moment. Odd one.
NA is also World War champions, back-to-back winners.
Yeah, exactly.
Just saying.
It's very true. Odd One, what did you feel about going up against Curse throughout the season? Did you feel they were your rivals, or do you agree with Special where they were so far behind you it wasn't even a thing?
I don't know. Like every other team seems the same to me when they lose, so it's like it doesn't matter if it's like Curse, Dig, or CLG. Like they all look the same after we win, so I didn't really care.
All right, fair enough. So hey, let's sort of wrap things up. I want to get just a second. So GameCrib Season 2 isn't announced yet; it's not official. But I kind of want to know: would you guys be interested in doing a GameCrib Season 2?
GameCrib Season 1.
GameCrib Season 1 showed us from 5th place to 1st place. GameCrib Season 2, we're going after the Worlds. And I mean, I think everyone, all of our fans, are extremely excited for GameCrib Season 2. Like, that was the best way for any of our fans to connect to us. I mean, if you guys really think, and if you guys want a GameCrib Season 2, I think you guys should just tweet at GameSpot, hashtag GameSpot, and ask GameSpot to do a GameCrib Season 2, because GameCrib Season 1 was so awesome for us. I mean, everything worked out perfectly. We came from 5th place to 1st place. It was just a great way to interact with our fans, and we gathered a lot more fans, and I love it. Like, what do you guys think?
Yeah, I think with Season 1 of GameCrib, we really got out of our shell, and
Turtle.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to Season 2 if it's coming. Hopefully it is. I've learned a lot about just myself just throughout the season, just how self-aware you become when there's so many people watching you and there's so many people talking about every bad thing you do, I guess. And you just become more self-aware. And yeah, so I feel like I really grew as a person. And with Season 2, I really want to see where we can take the team, and with the motivation that we have, we should have a pretty good spot and a pretty good chance at Worlds.
All right. Well, hey, we're out of time. I know you guys are excited about GameCrib Season 2 and the possibility of it, right? Yes? Okay.
Yeah. GSM Snapdragon.
GSM Snapdragon. There you go. So, if you want to see GameCrib Season 2, maybe hit up GameSpot at GameSpot on Twitter. Convince them it's worth it. Because I know you guys want to see it. I think everybody wants to see it. You guys want to say thanks to the fans really quickly?
Thanks to the fans. Thanks to Qualcomm for sponsoring us.
Thanks to the fans.
And we had an amazing
season. You can wave right there.
El Gato Libre.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching. This has been the GameCrib's recap show. Thanks again for watching. You can check out all the other cool stuff at GameSpot.com.